Hey guys, welcome for the weekly bass lesson. This week we're going to talk about playing in drop D on the bass guitar. Let's get started. So what is the difference between standard tuning and drop D tuning? Well, these bottom three strings are the same. They're still tuned from bottom to top, G, D, A. But the top string, instead of being tuned to an E, is tuned to a low D, one whole step below the low E that it used to be tuned to. It sounds like this. So since we changed the tuning of the top string, that means we have to adjust now in our playing for certain intervals. So now our octave is going to be two strings below our original note on the same fret. Now keep in mind the bottom three strings don't change at all. You just play those the same way you always play the bass in standard tuning. So that also means that our octave on those bottom three strings are still two frets and two strings apart instead of on the same fret. Another interval to look out for when we're playing in drop D is our perfect fifth. Our perfect fifth, instead of like it is on the bottom three strings being two frets and one string apart, we're going to actually stay on the same fret and it's one string apart. So that means you can play root, fifth, octave, root, fifth, octave, root, fifth, octave, all on the same fret all the way up the neck. And that's one kind of cool thing about playing in drop D. Another cool thing about playing in drop D is you can use the low D itself as a pedal note and come up with some pretty cool heavy metal and rock riffs. Like here's one example. Guitarists like to use it if they're playing anything that they want to sound heavy. Hey, sometimes they even drop to low B, which is way lower than that low D. That's the bottom note of a 5-string bass guitar, which we will have a lesson on, by the way. As you hear there, another thing about changing to the low D is your harmonics are different. So you can play with those and get some really cool sounds as well. So a quick and easy way to figure out where your notes are in drop D as compared to standard tuning is from the bottom string, all your intervals are going to be 2 frets towards the tuning pegs from where they were in standard tuning. So what does that mean? It means that would have been a fifth, but now this is a fifth. So I just moved my wrong note 2 notes to the left on my fretboard. Since I'm right-handed, if you were left-handed, you would move it to the right. Same thing with the octave. The octave would have been here. Instead, I have to move this note down 2 frets towards my tuning pegs. And now I have my octave. You can do that with all the intervals. It's not limited to fifths or octaves. It's all the intervals, even intervals bigger than an octave. Wherever that note was in relationship to the top string, now it's going to be down 2 frets towards the tuning pegs. Always. So I hope that gives you guys some useful tips for playing in drop D. I personally enjoy playing in drop D, especially if the beat is like heavy rock or metal based. It goes along really well with that. Now, when it's more hip-hop sounding, I prefer to use a 5-string because I feel like a 5-string emulates an 808 or a bass drop better than a regular 4-string tuned down. Alright, that's all I've got for today, guys. If you found this video useful, please hit like and take a second to hit subscribe down below the video now. Also check out the link in the description. That's my website, slapitabass.com, where you can find more bass lessons and more info about me. This is Jeff Nelson with the Lax Band, signing off at slapitabass.com. Everybody stay safe and remember to slap at a bass.